Bangkok is honestly one of the most addictive cities on earth. Not just because it's fun, but because it's built for stimulation. Just look around here at Rama 9. New towers, MRT stations underground, and new condos going up every year. There's always something moving. When you step out in Asok or Siam, it feels like you've plugged into momentum. And I get it, it's exciting. But herein lies the real question. What happens if you try and live at this pace for say 5, 10 or 15 years? Not a trip, not a phase, an actual life here. Because here's what I've come to realize over time. Bangkok, it doesn't really change you, it amplifies you and your habits. And powerful environments, they aren't neutral. So the real question isn't whether Bangkok is addictive, it's actually whether you can sustain living here long term. And before we go any further, I genuinely love this city. I'm standing here today in Paramgao. I actually used to live just down the road from here. So this isn't theory for me. This area, Rama 9, is a perfect example of what I mean by Bangkok's energy. Think new buildings, corporate offices, condos going up everywhere, the MRT running through it. It feels ambitious and forward moving. And that's the part of why I like it here. And this video is my take and perspective on this topic that I've come to realize over the years of living here. Because when something is this dynamic, it's important to understand how it could potentially affect you long term. Bangkok isn't just nightlife in Thonglor or malls in Siam. It's places like this where people are building routines, careers, and daily life. And I've lived inside that rhythm. So today's video isn't about judging the city, it's about asking a better question. If you plug into this environment long term, how does it affect your daily lifestyle and also your long-term ambition? All right, let's crack on and break it down. When you first move here, it genuinely feels like an upgrade. The food options overall are better, the transport is easier, and the lifestyle feels lighter. You can go from your condo in Phnom Penh to dinner in Thonglor in 10 minutes. You don't necessarily need a car. The Grab and Bolt e-hailing apps work completely fine here. You have a really wide network of MRT and BTS lines that cover a large range of the city, so it feels frictionless. And to me, that feels like a gift. But here's the subtle part you may want to be aware of. In my previous experience, when everything feels easy, then there's a tendency to perhaps not build enough structure. You can absolutely build something incredible living here, or you can drift very comfortably between hotel brunches, spa visits and weekend trips out of the city. And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's what makes Bangkok one of the top destinations for lifestyle in the world. But in my experience, the type of lifestyle that you lead, the city, it won't interrupt you either way. And that's the first quiet tension to be aware of. And so my first Mr. Henners tip here is to design and decide what your week is actually going to look like before Bangkok designs it for you. Because once you're always kind of on, so to speak, the stimulation, it can quietly creep up over time.
스타니 펜츄부리 Station.
You know what's really interesting about sitting here? Take a look at this. The airport railway link running through, traffic layered above traffic, condos behind it, and people constantly arriving and departing. Bangkok isn't chaotic, it's connected and it's constantly flowing. You can finish work here in the Singha complex and be in Asok in 5 minutes, or make your way to the airport and be on a flight and be at the beach within an hour or two. That level of access, it can be addictive, and I think that is one of Bangkok's superpowers. It keeps you sharp and there's always something new. A new cafe in Ari, a new rooftop bar in Satorn, a new opening in Ekamai, a random Friday night dinner that turns into something bigger. But here's the subtle thing. When novelty becomes that easy, your brain can have a tendency to expect it as the regular. And in my opinion, if every week needs to feel like Thonglor on a Friday night, then ordinary life can have a tendency to potentially feel flat. Not because Bangkok is wrong, but perhaps because your baseline may have shifted. So the long-term question becomes this: are you enjoying the stimulation, or does your nervous system now require it? And that, my friend, is a very different thing. So my Mr. Henners tip here is to try and make sure that your regular life feels strong. not your highlight reel. Because potentially when stimulation becomes normal, you may quietly find that your energy rises, your costs may start to rise, and your expectations may rise. And that, my friend, is when you may have a tendency to start to drift towards the ambition core of the entire city.
Sukhumvit Station.
Okay, here we go again. One of my favourite things is to do a whole scene and then I realise I don't film it. Stand here for a minute and just look up. Glass towers, BTS overhead, Terminal 21 behind you, and traffic layered in every direction. This isn't just an intersection, it's one of Bangkok's most important ambition hubs. Corporate offices, international firms, remote workers in co-working spaces around Prong Pong, and entrepreneurs running their businesses from the comfort of their own laptops. And now with options such as the DTV visa, the Elite visa, and other long-term stay options, people aren't just visiting anymore, they're committing. 5 years, 10 years, building real roots. And in my opinion, that changes the question completely, because once you know you have viable options to stay for the long term, so the city, it stops becoming a constant playground and becomes a place where you want to design your long-term lifestyle. And from my experience, Bangkok, it attracts momentum-driven people. Builders, optimizers, people who want leverage. So let me ask you honestly, if you stayed in this ambition loop long term, especially now there are more of a wider range of visas that make this possible, are you looking to build something meaningful or just maintaining a level? Because Bangkok will amplify whichever one you feed. So my tip here to you is to use the ambition as fuel, not as a measuring stick. Let it sharpen you, don't let it quietly define you so you can live life on your own terms. All right, let's continue the walk. Let me share something personal with you. In my first year, I stayed in a really nice condo. It was modern, had a great rooftop pool, and it was in an amazing location on one of the main roads. Walk straight outside and you're straight into the momentum of the city. On paper, perfect. And at first I absolutely loved it. But every month or so, I would feel this urge to leave. Beach, countryside, or anywhere quieter. I didn't realise what was going on at the time. I thought I just needed variety. And then coincidentally, I moved to an older building down one of the quieter subsoils. Still connected, still Bangkok, but calmer. And that constant urge to leave, it started to ease. And that's when I realised something. Bangkok itself wasn't draining me, but my environment in the city was. Now don't get me wrong, some people thrive in the thick of it all, maybe in Asok or Tonglor. For me, the hustle and bustle in the day and then calm at night, that's what made the city sustainable for me to live. So my tip here is don't choose your condo based on the amenities alone. Choose it for the energy that you come home to, because that, my friend, matters long term more than you think. Okay, and this, my friend, is still Bangkok. Water, space, and skyline in the distance. You can go from Asok busyness to this beautiful nature in 10 minutes. And that contrast, my friend, it's powerful. And this is where I think the long-term difference really starts to show up. The people who stay here long-term build rhythm. High energy, then reset. Ambition, then quiet. So what does reset actually look like? It's not dramatic, it's just small, repeatable things. Maybe it's morning walks here to disconnect and get in touch again with nature. 1 or 2 nights a week where you don't go out. Leaving Sukhumvit for a park or another type of nature rather than another rooftop bar. Choosing a condo on a quieter soi, even if it's less flashy. And maybe booking 1 weekend a month where nothing is scheduled. These are examples of small actionable steps that you can implement into regular life, which in my opinion help to protect your baseline. Because here's the truth. In my previous experience of living in Bangkok, if you are constantly building your routine around stimulation, then your nervous system never gets to fully reset. And what I've come to realise over time is that that can potentially leave you feeling slightly tired most of the time, and it's something subtle that can creep up on you over time. And that may be the thing that you only notice after, say, 2 or 3 years over time. For me personally, what I found when I moved to a quieter area and built calm more regularly into my routines, it felt like my recovery was more naturally built into my week. And for me, that changed a lot of regular things in my lifestyle. So my Mr. Henners tip here is to schedule recovery into your routine like you schedule your ambition. Put it in your calendar and protect it. Because trust me, Bangkok will fill every empty space that you leave open in your calendar. So welcome to Benjikiti Forest Park Skywalk. Up here, you can really see the scale of the city. Bangkok, it feels incredible in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. The stimulation, it matches your ambition and your drive. But long-term living isn't about what works and feels exciting now. It's about how the place feels when you are, say, 50, 55, 60 plus years old. When I'm planning for my long-term future, what I think about as a place is the pace. Is it something that will be suitable in the long term? Also, I think about my finances. Is it a place that financially makes sense? Also, I think about my hobbies. Is it a place where I can easily tap into the hobbies that I'm interested in? And also with my relationships, do I have close friends nearby and other loved ones? So these are things to consider when you're thinking about a place as a long-term place to live in. And a place that is energetic certainly is powerful, but from my experience, sustainability is what wins in the long term. So you have to ask yourself, my friends, are you building an actual life in locations such as Bangkok, or is it another high-intensity chapter of your life? So my Mr. Henners tip here is to plan as if you are going to stay for 20 plus years, because even if you're not, that mindset will make a big difference in the long term. Hey, so here's where we've landed at the Queen Sirikit side of Benjikiti Park. Bangkok is addictive, not because it's chaotic, but because it's stimulating, because it's ambitious, and because it's alive. So I genuinely admire that. So the better question isn't, is Bangkok sustainable? It's, can you build sustainability inside the city? I've lived both versions. The main road momentum version and the quiet soy reset version. Same city, different experience. If you build rhythm, my friends, then Bangkok becomes an accelerator. If you permanently live at high stimulation, the city, it will ask more from you than you may have initially realized. The city, it reflects your pace back to you. So before asking yourself, is it too intense to live here long term? Ask yourself, can you manage intensity? Because if you can, Bangkok can become one of the most exciting and sustainable long-term bases to have in the entire world. Design the rhythm and the city works for you. Mr. Henners signing off here. See you in the next one.